Street Fighter time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the SH Figuarts Street Fighter 5 number 12 Sagat figure. King Sagat, the king of Muay Thai, the king of Tiger, and one of my personal favorites in the entire Street Fighter franchise. Now the SH Figuarts line has been kinda hit and miss, and they've been dormant for a while. They haven't really done anything since Vega, then they came out with Bison, and now Sagat is trickling out, and there's some things I want to have an honest look at because not everything seems perfect with this one. Let's go. Okay, wow, that's gonna be fun. He's too small. First and foremost, he stands at about 17.5 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we're going up to 6.9 inches tall. And for reference, I don't have Ryu. Obviously you would have Ryu, but Ryu is like in a real nice Tatsumaki pose and I didn't want to break this up. Now Ken is a little, let me straighten out the legs actually, so that they're both going face to face, legs straightened out, and Ken, you know, he's almost a head smaller, but he should be down here. Do we agree on that? I agree on that. So he's a bit too small, unfortunately, and that's, I say that, and that's the one thing that just jumped at my face immediately. Because, like, he's supposed to be big, bulky, just monster-style character. And they didn't... That's part number one. Part number two is... Why is he orange? He's very pale in, like, Street Fighter 2. But then you got, like, the classic costume from Sagat in Street Fighter 5. He's still not that orange. Also, by the way, for reference, this is called Street Fighter 5. It has Street Fighter 5 logo all over it. Obviously, this would be the classic costume. But here for reference, they have a picture of Sagat from Street Fighter 2. Looks very pale, looks a little bit skinny, which I'll get to in a second. And then you have the classic model from Sagat in Street Fighter 5, which is a bit more bulky, is a lot more pale still, is not orange, and I don't know, this kind of thing here doesn't really fit in with either of them. It's kind of in the middle. It has some of one and some of the other. But let's get into the face sculpt. It's actually very nice. You got the mold is perfect. It looks like Sagat. The idol, it's just like I've been talking about that with a lot of SH figure on Street Fighter figures. It just kind of floats over there. There's like no shading around it or whatnot, and then you have like the black line around the white eye, which just doesn't look good. And I don't know why they're doing it. It looks cartoony and it looks bad. And I've been talking about that for a lot of SH figure on Street Fighter figures. I don't think you should just have a thick black line around the eyes. Then you got the scar on the hat, that one looks pretty good, and the paint job on it is overall very nice. I like the lips, there's some actually shading, or like a darker line in the middle of that to really make the lips stand out. Should have done something like that for the eye. As I move around, the back of the hat is really unclean over here, the plastic, by the way, that's just kind of weird. Also, his neck, it's just not integrated at all. They just stuck it on there, they're like, boom, neck, there you go, have at it. Now, the shading on it, and that's the weirdest thing about it, as much as I complained already about this figure, only 3 minutes in, the shading is phenomenal. It's like, why don't you put this kind of shading on figures that are really, really good? How many freaking times do I sit here and say, this figure is awesome, could use some shading? Well, whatever, the figure's great, but it has shading. Now with this figure, I'm like, this is not good, but it has great shading. Also, the scar, I don't like it. I think it's too dark. I think it's too wonky. I think there's like way too kind of goes around way too much. Again, I've shown you the pictures earlier. The scar never looked really that cartoony, and yeah, it is kind of molded on, but very slightly. It doesn't really stand out that much. That's debatable if you like it or not, but I don't know. Also, it seems like there's some spots that they kind of missed on it. But let me go back real quick for one more thing. He's also very skinny. Yeah, I kind of forgot to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, again, going back to Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Sagat was a lot more skinny, I thought, always. So, in regards to that, it would line up with that. But this is supposed to be Street Fighter 5 Sagat in the classic costume, and in that regard, it doesn't match up. So, what are you doing, Figuarts? Where are you going? What do you want? Anyway, the tape fists look amazing, also have some great shading on it. Looks very good, it's painted nicely, don't have a problem with that. Pants, also, same thing, nicely molded, has some good paint, also has a little bit of shading going around the red. Great plate over here is nice, it is a bit more shiny, and everything is kind of matte, nothing's too shiny except for, well, the pants are a little bit more radiating. You have a weird kind of butt flap over here, but once we'll get to the articulation, it's actually not badly engineered. The entire pants, like the leg parts, is not really connected anywhere, so you can rotate that around to your will. It, again, will come in handy once we get to the articulation, and down to the big feet with some more taped detail on there. And also the muscle work. There's a lot of very cool muscle work on it, which I believe deserves some credit, but unfortunately the entire thing overall has some issues. I don't know what's going on with this. Now for the articulation, also there's some stuff going on. The head goes back, doesn't really go forward. Does it have like a double ball joint? It's kind of one of these things that's hard to move around without moving your neck around. Can get it back nicely, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around. Now for your neck articulation, goes forward, goes to the back, does tilt side to side, and has some rotation in it. So it works nicely, obviously, but it looks freaking ugly. You get some kind of nice forward motion with the neck in place. So overall, that works nice. Now, look at this mess over here. Now again, articulation-wise, this is genius. You get like, you have this piece in the torso itself, which moves up and down. Can't really get some side-to-side motion from it, but then you have a ball pack, in there, which you can rotate around, and another ball hinge, which you can rotate around and move it up and down. So you can bring it up, bring it down, bring it back, bring it forward, and wow, articulation-wise, it's amazing, but look at how ugly this looks. Why is there like such a long peg over there? I know you can hide it, or just kind of tuck it in there, but I don't really see the point of it, because also then, you don't have a bicep swivel. What? You have the weird elbow swivel, which they've been doing a lot with the fighting body. It's not bad, but it's also not great. Also has like just a dinky kind of elbow piece over here, which doesn't line up with the rest of the body color, and it leaves a gap over there, so I don't really know. Then you got the fists, which just pops off, goes back, forward, and pops off again. Well, it's on a ball hinge, so it goes back, forward, and rotates. If it would stay on there, rotates, there you go. Chest articulation goes back, forward, side to side, and doesn't really have any rotation. Doesn't really swivel around, so depends. If you move it back a little bit, but still, just I think it's cool that it doesn't leave any gaps. Actually, gotta give him mad prompts to that. But again, a little bit just inside side. Same with the torso, and you hear that noise, so I'm not feeling like forcing it. And I also have some wiggle motion. But forward and back movement it's alright. It's not. It's actually still pretty good. Let's not be too harsh on it. Then for the legs, move forward, move out to the side. Doesn't leave any gap. Actually is molded in there, which is pretty nice. Doesn't really go to the back that much. That's because of the butt flap. But like with the butt flap, I just want to show you. I thought it looked kind of weird, but it doesn't stand out weirdly when you move all of this around. That was like really important to me. What is weird is the knee joint. This is ugly. So it's functional. You have a nice ball hinge in there, but why do you make the ball hinge on the knee, the actual knee? So that will never look good, because there's the knee, even though it should be here. But why not make a knee pad, put that over the hinge, and boom, you're done. This is just weird. It's functional, but it's weird. Then you have a nice pivot side to side in the foot, forward, backward motion, not hindered at all, and a toe hinge to round off your articulation. Accessories all act thereof, which, because there's not really a lot, you have gritting teeth face, you don't have a laughing face, which I'm already missing. Then you got open hands, that's all. You got open hands and fist hands. Well, to be fair, for a Street Fighter character, there's not more, don't really need that much more. You have a nice tiger effect, fireball, which, like I'm saying, it looks nice, it's a fireball. You can attach it to a base, which is right here. You got the base, tag one part in there, tag the other one part somewhere. There's a hole here somewhere, and then you can have your tiger, and that's really it. So, this is important, I feel like. Here we have regular SH Figuarts Sagat, then you got on the left Soda Sagat in the masterpiece himself, almost too big for the frame. Storm Collectibles Sagat. As you can tell, this one is standing on one leg, holding that pose on one leg, and he looks amazing. Notice how none of them are orange except for the one in the middle. Notice how all of them are super bulky except for the one in the middle. Yeah, I don't really know. Obviously, they're all kind of different sizes. Although Soda is kind of the same size. It's kind of like how big Sagat should be. If you have like Ken over here again, just for comparison, that's kind of like the size I want to see with my Ken and my Sagat. Maybe a little bit too big, maybe. I mean, it always differentiates itself, depending on which game we're talking about, but still, Street Fighter V Sagat should be a lot bigger than his competition. So I just leave you with this picture and move over to the final thoughts. Alrighty then, also, which I forgot, apologies, so you had the Thailand stage backdrop from Street Fighter V. It's nicely rendered, these like two pieces, yeah, like these flaps in there, so you have a nice little background display piece for your fighting game scenes from Street Fighter V. Now, final thoughts for this Sagat? Nope. I'm incredibly disappointed with this one. So, okay, I don't want to bash it too much. This is not an awful figure. I think, in general, it's still a very nicely articulated figure, has some very nice muscle work, but that's about it. It lacks accessories. I really would have liked the crossed arms. I would have liked the laughing face. It's not accurate to any of the source material. He's too orange. He's too skinny. Well, if you're taking Street Fighter 2, well, it should be Street Fighter 5, yada, 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 go back and forth. Decide on what you want to do. I already said that. And there's just way better options out there. And that's one of the most important things to me, really, in this one. Like, I love Sagat as a character, and when I love a character, I'm a lot harsher in the reviews. And maybe that's not fair, but that's just how I look at it, and I really have everything, want to take everything into consideration here. And with the Sagats I've shown you, I do believe the Soda Sagat is better, and hands down, no questions asked, any day of the week, twice on Sundays, I will tell you that the Storm Sagat is the best one, and just laughs at this one, makes fun of this one, bullies him. No, just like, not a chance. Obviously it's a different size, and it has its different perks, but yeah, there's no way this beats out the Storm Sagat, and even like the Soda one, I still prefer that one. So that's gonna do it. Obviously not recommended. I think there's better Sagats out there. But if you absolutely want a Sagat for your Street Fighter collection, I honestly would say to see if you can find the Soda one. I don't know, this one is just really disappointing. Again, I kind of want to dial it back. I don't think this is an awful figure, but it should have been better. It should have been way better, and that's pretty much it. So I do not recommend this one, unfortunately, and I hope the store SH Figuarts picks it up with the next one. If they're gonna do next one, I don't even know. They're so much over the place. But that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, guys, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Sagat wants. Way too many things for me to list.